This is CWTFB Radio. Your host, Charlie MaSheen. Choose what the future brings, all of the above. Always sponsored by Details, Car Audio and Auto Detailing, run on 138. That's 925 Turnpike Street in Canton, Mass. Go holla at my people for all your car accessory needs, window tinting, remote starters, all types of different things that we could do for you, speakers, radios, whatever the case may be. It could be truck accessories, it could be motorcycle accessories, anything that you need. If we could do it, we got you. If we can't, then we'll refer you to the right people who can. Just let them know Charlie sent you and we'll lace you up, get you taken care of. Today, we got my man DMoney Martinez in the building. What's going on, man?
I'm cooling, man. I'm cooling. What's good with you?
I'm good, man. I'm jealous right now because you sparking up, and can't even do that in the crib, dog. You know what I mean? Shorty, you take my head off and shit.
I got a little area. in my crib. I just come in the back and it's cool. I'm just like, this is my little. It's the most rugged area in the crib, but I like it because I'm comfortable in this
right. Like, you could just do whatever you want.
Do whatever I want.
I ain't mad at that, man. So I appreciate you coming on today, man.
Fact.
You know what I mean? I reached out to you. I said I had a couple questions.
Yeah.
You said you had a couple questions too.
Yeah.
So I mean, what you want to get into first?
No. We could go ahead into the
We're gonna do a full interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I really want. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, man, like, you're a creator, you're an artist, you've been out here for a while. Like, when did you get started in music in Boston?
I'll say like 2009.
Oh yeah, 09. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I probably a little bit before that, because before I was an artist, I was producing. I'm responsible. Okay. I'm responsible. I'm gonna talk my shit. I could swear.
Nigga, go ahead.
I'll talk my shit a little bit. I'm responsible for a lot of people. You know,
all right. Respect.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of folks don't know that, because a lot of people don't need to know that. But
right.
I'm responsible for a lot of music, written, produced, mixed, mastered, the whole nine.
And I can attest for that, because two artists that I've had on the show have said that. You know, shout out Lord Jew. She came back to even be a co-host on the episode, and Big Dog Prano. Yeah. The last episode I just dropped, he told me about the record that you laced up for him as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's just a small imprint. So I mean, like, you want to drop some names, or is it like, it is what it is?
It is what it is. I mean, I tuned into the Jew, to the I follow Jew, I follow Prano, I follow a lot of artists from the city.
Right.
And I tuned into your interview, and I heard a couple things, and I didn't want to address it, but I just felt like I'd wait till the right time.
Right.
It. And I was just waiting to just like, just see you either, in traffic, or, just have a conversation about, just some things that was said. And I don't know who was in the room at the time, but, people, what I understand from the industry is that I'm never going to take offense to anything. You feel what I'm trying to say?
Right.
People are entitled to their own opinion, and nobody's opinion ever changed. No dollar amount that I receive.
Absolutely not.
It doesn't change, how the public, genuinely fucks with me and perceives me. You feel what I'm trying to say? So at the end of the day, I keep going, I keep grinding, and I do what I feel I need to do. You feel me? Whether it's in everything I say and everything I do, whether it's public or behind closed doors, it's real. It's real. And for somebody to say, quoting your words, you said something along the lines that
you was talking tough when you're not built like that.
Exactly.
Right.
So I want to know what you meant by that.
So my thing is this, right? So the whole situation that happened with Fish, I'm pretty sure that's family to you. And shout out Eddie Fish with the whole Dave East situation. You said that Dave East can no longer come to Boston, correct?
Yep.
Right. So what made you say that?
You know what? In a sense, at the time, loyalty is everything to me.
Right. And I respect that.
Regardless, Fish is my people's, and you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna clear the air on this, because I never really spoke about this. So I'm speaking about this shit on your show.
CWTFB exclusive.
You feel me? So I never really touched on this, but regardless, it could have been nigga, the president of the United States that did that shit. Nigga, it's fuck that nigga till till whatever. You feel what I'm trying to say?
Right. And I get that.
So people, if you understand the relationship between me and Fish, you wouldn't even question that. So I don't even want to, you know what I'm saying, go further more on that. Davies doing this thing, you know what I'm saying? I personally don't got no problems with Davies. And I'm gonna say that again. I personally don't got no problems with Davies, but at the same time, you know, if there is an issue, you know whose side I'm gonna be on, regardless.
Right, absolutely.
You feel me? So that's just clearing it up on that.
All right, so from my perspective, I'm a spectator. You know what I'm saying? From the outside looking in. So when you hear somebody who doesn't really have that reputation for being a tough guy say some shit like Davies can't come to Boston, that sounds like you want to start some shit.
But you heard it, right?
Heard what?
You heard it. You heard what I said. Everybody,
absolutely.
The whole city heard what I said.
Right.
So at the end of the day, for somebody who quote unquote don't got that pull, why the whole city jumping on it? Right?
Because you don't got that pull.
Nah. The whole city jumping on it because they paying attention. And we around, like you said, you were spectators, and there's a lot more spectators than there is a lot niggas. There's a lot more spectators than niggas actually doing something in the city. So I don't want to hear none of that at the end of the day. You feel what I'm trying to say? So it is what it is. Well, that's how I feel about it.
Well, no. I mean, and you can feel how you want to feel. I mean, and I respect that. You know what I mean? Right. Realistically, you know, like you said, niggas is gonna have their opinions. And I'm glad that we could talk about this like men. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And one thing is, yo, there's a lot of coming up. You know, I was seeing rappers from the city that I never really got the chance to like really like actually physically see.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? And for me, for anybody to feel a certain type of way, yo, I'm not saying that I'm the toughest guy, but I'm not hard to find because I'm in the clubs, I'm in the city, I'm in downtown, I'm out. So
right.
And I could stand by what I say and still feel comfortable with stepping outside. Period.
So what would happen if something actually transpired from that? Is what I'm saying, man.
Nothing,
like, you know what I mean? Like that's bad for business. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Because you look at somebody, you know, of Davies' stature, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and I'm not saying that he's like, because technically he's still kind of underground. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's just like, you know, a situation arises, and it sucked because that's I mean, that's home base. You know what I mean? That's Boston. You know what I mean? And nobody was there to. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit was whack. Like I wasn't there. I heard about the situation.
Anybody that would look at the situation and know the true facts of the situation would know that the whole situation was just whack in general. You feel me? I personally don't think that Davies knew who he was, and what he meant to the city.
Right.
And how that was gonna transpire. So I kind of like understand, you know, in that aspect, but at the end of the day, I see it as home team, and I think he would do the same thing too. You feel me?
And like you know what? Furthermore, you know, not to cut you off, but furthermore, I mean, had I been in your position, I more than likely would have popped off like that too. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, you know what I mean, how niggas is raised. You know what I mean? Because that's family, that's home base. So it is what it is. But I don't want to spend too much time on that. At the end of the day, man, I've been seeing you do your thing for a while. Yep. And I respect your grind because you, like you said, like, you know, you've been around for a minute. I'm pretty sure you seen my name when I was rapping, but I don't rap no more. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not out here. I'm not doing the same things. Different opportunities arose. I took them. I kind of put rap on the back burner, but you one of the names that stayed prominent. You know what I'm saying? And you've been doing a lot of things. You dropped a song with Mano. What was that, like last year?
I dropped a song with Mano for my album on Larry Drip. Yep.
Yeah. So Larry Drip, that was actually a big album for you. What was the inspiration behind that?
Larry Drip, it's so weird how everything came together, yo. When I was doing the album, I didn't know what direction I was going in until I met with Stats in New York, which is actually how I got the record with Mano. So I was at IMI Studios in Lower Manhattan, I think, or Upper Manhattan, one of them. It's a popular studio out there, whatever. And we was just listening to records, and somebody asked me like, "What's popping in Boston?" You know, and I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't have no answers for them at the time. Like the only thing that somebody could tell me about Boston, being outside of Boston, was, you know, just the basics, like, you know, the Celtics, you know, Larry Bird, Boston
The
George,
cliche shit,
the cliche shit. You feel me? So I was just like, yo, all right, so let's just take the cliche shit. When you think about Larry Bird, what do you think about it? You feel what I'm trying to say? So I was just like I didn't want to name my album anything that like resembled Boston, but I wanted to keep it like, you know, the significance. So I was just like, yo, what's iconic to me?
Okay.
For me in Boston, right?
Okay.
So I started thinking like Larry Bird. So I was just like, I'm gonna add a little twist to it, honestly. And just the drip shit was just cool at the time. So I was just like, Larry Drip. I started saying the name to motherfuckers and posting it without even telling niggas what it actually meant. And people was just starting to see me in the streets and just calling me Larry Drip. So I just named it the album. And it's so crazy how Larry Drip's number was 33, right? And the photo shoot that I did for Larry Drip for my cover, I did it in front of the house that I grew up in Dorchester. That's why you see 33 on the background of my album cover.
Right.
And then when I had a meeting with my team, we was picking out a date, and it so happened to be that we picked March 11th, 2019. Now, when you add the third month, it's a lot of conspiracy shit because I do a lot of thinking and whatever. But
numbers and shit.
When you add the third month of the year, which is March, right? 11 days into the month, which is 11, you add those two is 14, and then you add 19 from 2019, and it adds up to 33. 33, okay. So this whole 33 number was just really significant to me. So I was just like, you know what, I'm going to just run with it. But I didn't realize all this shit until actually the album came out. Like, I'm starting to look at, like, the date, the numbers, the name of the album. And I'm just like, yo, all this shit happened to just coincide with each other. You feel what I'm trying to say? Without me wanting to do it.
Well, that's dope, man. That's fire. I mean, Larry Drip. I think I'm gonna name this episode Larry Drip. Matter of fact. Yeah. All right. Well, shit, man. How'd that So the situation with Mano, so you actually met up with him, or was that like you sent him the record type shit?
I met Mano. A lot of people that I work with, I done probably already met. Like a handful of times, right? So I met Mano on a few occasions. I met him one time at Yo Gotti's album release party. For, he dropped, I think, I Am, and he was on tour. And, you know, we was on tour with them heavy too. So during the time with Fish dropped Whole Lot of Money, I was on that record. They went on tour. I was on the tour with them or whatever. And so I ended up meeting and shaking a lot of hands throughout that time period. Fast forward. I started working with, like I said, my cousin Stats out of New York, and I took the opportunity to use that plug and kind of like reach out to him again, and I met up with him at DJ Hollywood birthday bash in New York, and he was there. He happened to pop up, so I literally went up to him, chopped it up, and said, I want to do a record with you. 2 weeks later, I got the record. I sent it to him. I got on the phone with him. We chopped it up for like a cool 30 minutes to speak about, you know, what he's going through, you know, shit that's going on in the city and my city, just to, you know, get on the same page.
Right.
And
have some type of relation,
Exactly. So I honestly say, you know, when I listen to Mano, I honestly think he gave me his hardest verse. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think Mano gave me his hardest verse. I listen to that song every day because it's real shit that niggas go through every day. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, the energy was crazy on the record.
You feel me? And I wanted to stay true to me, but stay true to the streets too, because a lot of niggas don't really talk about the daily struggles. They want to talk about how it's easy to go in the club and pop bottles. Now let's talk about that car note that you owe. Let's talk about the light bill that's due. Let's talk about how your baby mother calling for child support. Type shit. So I want to talk about the shit that's relatable, because anybody could go on the track and lie and say they popping 100 bottles in the club and they really
that
not.
Fly shit, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So with the and it's funny because when I first started listening to the record for the first time, I was like, where's he going with this? Like, you know what I mean? Because it sounds like a club record, and then you like, you know what I mean? I'm late on the car note. They about to repo it tomorrow, and I'm like, where's he going with this shit? And then when I heard the verses, it all kind of just, you know, came together. So I definitely respect that. I like that. So I mean, you've been doing your thing for like 10 plus years now.
I would say that.
So what do you feel like is the biggest moment for you career wise thus far?
I'm gonna be real. The biggest moment for me was the rollout to my album, Larry Drip. I think I dropped 3 projects before that, and I didn't really get. I had singles,
Mm-hmm.
but my albums as a whole, as projects, like I honestly feel like I had great music, but it wasn't sticking because I feel like in the industry you gotta find a way to. How do I say this? Like, find a way to still be relevant, but still be true to yourself.
Right.
And I feel like I was just always even if I was like doing a record that, you know, was to females, and then I had another record that was towards, you know, more of the streets and just I was bouncing around. So during the time, it was too much. I think it was honestly too much for the audience to gravitate to. But now you got artists like, you know, that's making it okay. Like you got the Tory Lanez of the world that go into the hip hop shit, that can go on a song with Meek and then go on a song with Party Next Door, and it'll still hit the same way. You feel what I'm trying to say? But back then it didn't hit that way. You feel what I'm trying to say? So for me, I had to really I struggled through that because I seen the industry change not once, twice, 3 times. I'm living in the third decade of me making music. You feel what I'm trying to say?
And I'm glad you said that, because that you know what I mean? So since 2009 to now, you know what I mean? Like a lot has changed, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like you had the inception of Drake, I guess you want to say, around that time, like after he really started really popping. And then you had the Migos right slowly thereafter. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different shifts. There's so many different shifts in energy in the game. So like it's hard to stay relevant, man. And
even in business, because I went from actually pressing up CDs to actually being one of the first few artists to actually, I was in high school when I dropped my first project, My Definition, and it hit iTunes and it went crazy. Like people didn't even understand how I was on iTunes, but and I feel like that's also like, if I would have kept, I'm so true to people, and I'm so helpful that if I would have kept like a celebrity or a stance, I always say this to myself, where if I wasn't so like accessible to like, you know, just the audience, people would probably, you keep your celebrity, but I'm just too out to the people. Like I want to touch the people. You feel what I'm trying to say?
Well, you should.
I should. And I feel like everything that I did from prior that I didn't understand, I understand it now. So it's paying off. You feel me? Because I could still go out in the street and hustle and sell you my music and make you play it, and then I could still go on Instagram and capture new followers. So I get the best of both worlds. I could see you in the streets, I could shake your hand, I could meet you, and I got the internet presence. So I got basically both, best of the both worlds.
Yeah, that's fire, man. Now, a few years ago, you became a father. Mm-hmm. Right. How old's your little man now?
My little man's 6.
6. Wow.
He's about to be 6.
Damn. Wow. It felt like it just happened. You know what I mean?
He about to be 6.
5, about to be 6. Yep. So how do you feel like that changed, you know, things for you, you know, becoming a father and also being a creator?
I feel like the experience has definitely gave me a lot more to write about. And when I say write, you know, I go in the studio and I vibe out, and things just be coming to. I don't remember the last time I actually physically wrote a song, but I feel like my experiences help me like write faster in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Because there's more content in there. Yeah,
it's more content.
Yeah.
So even seeing my son grow up, and even seeing him react to, you know, certain songs. For instance, anybody who got kids out there, they will tell you like, yo, when you see your kids on YouTube and they doing the dances and they singing the songs word for word, you know that song's a hit.
Right.
So when I see my son doing that with my own songs, it's just like, damn, like I know this song's a hit. I just need to get it out to the world. So I'm doing something right.
Okay.
You know what I'm trying to say? So that kind of molded me to actually pay attention to more to the youth. Obviously, when you're, you know, out here and you're having kids, it's just like, not just out there having kids, but when you have, you know, babies and stuff like that, you start to realize like, damn, the youth is that important, because they make. Oh,
absolutely.
There are a huge percentage of the actual market out there.
Right. People who kids want to buy shit. You know what I mean? Half the time we buy shit is because our kids want it. You know what I mean? Like I don't even really spend that much money on myself no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just my daughter's like, oh, I want this, I want that, and I'm like, damn, she always wants the expensive shit.
I'm in a black tee and sweats completely.
Nigga, facts.
All day.
Facts.
For the kids, literally.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I was saying that to my wife the other day. I'm like, yo, you know, Penny pop more tags than us, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she's the one that's always dripped up. You know what I'm saying? Like we homie. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? But that's dope, man. That's dope, man. You know what I mean? It's kind of dope to kind of like see your little man grow, you know, right in front of us. You know what I mean? But what's next for you, man? Like, what do you want to do? Like, what's 2020 supposed to be looking like for you?
So, right now I was working on pretty much a residency with Big Night Live. And, I had a few things going on, obviously before the coronavirus pandemic happened. The show with Fetty, I had a show back in February with Fetty Wap. Fetty Wap didn't actually make it to the show, but they still had me perform. He's
what was that at?
That was at Big Night Live. That's right under TD Garden.
Right.
So it was basically a new opportunity for me. I had to pretty much, I don't want to say audition, but I had to send my music over to Live Nation and they had to approve it. So pretty much I could basically land a position or a gig on a hip hop tour. You know, just based off of that, let's just say, you know, they're looking for artists that let's say Lil Baby's going on tour and Live Nation's looking for artists to open for them. Right. I'm already approved. I'm in the door already. They could choose me out of a hat. You feel what I'm trying to say? So I got that. The Fetty Wap show was rescheduled for May 20th. And then I had the Fab show that recently just got canceled out here.
Right.
I was opening in for that. So they rescheduled that for May 31st. And I have, I'm working on like, you know, just, you know, doing my own shows and making the shows. If I do decide to hop on somebody's show as a promoter, it has to be like up here. Like I can't go back like after doing House of Blues and Big Night, and I'm trying to go to arenas now. You feel what I'm trying to say? And it's gonna take a lot, but I feel like, you know, I feel like I'm comfortable enough to do that. Like my music is there. I could showcase my music to people who don't even know me, and it'll still hit. I feel like I have that kind of impact where it will still hit because I can go to a live show and have a live band and give you that kind of performance, or I can go to a club and turn up real quick on the mic behind the DJ booth. So I kind of like, you know, try to manage. I try to do a little bit more of the concert feel because I don't like performing without my live band.
Okay.
I feel like
that's fire. The first time I seen that in Boston was with International Show. Right. I didn't know you performed with a live band, but that's fire.
Yeah, facts. And even with International Show, I did a few shows with him where he had his live band and I had my live band. I had him. We've been on a few shows, you know, back in Church Boston days when it was open.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was going heavy. So there's a few artists out there that actually, you know, do the live band thing, but. Even with that, when I dropped my first project, I used to make music specifically so that I can perform them with my live band because it's kind of hard to perform trap music or drill music with a live band.
It's too many synthesized sounds. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So when I was in the creating process, I always stuck to that. Like, yo, I need that live concert feel. So that's why it was easier for me to create music and go a specific lane where a lot of other people were going on a different lane. You feel what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
I kind of always just wanted to be just isolated, like kind of.
Okay.
And it worked. I don't know. I guess it works for me.
So who are your influences then? Because I mean that I mean you seem like a very musical dude. Like it's not just about putting words on a beat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you compose music and shit. Like you make beats and all of that too.
My first instrument. I know how to play like about 10 instruments.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah. So my first instrument that I learned how to play, and before any of this rap shit, before any of this R&B shit, I'm Latin. I'm from Honduras, right?
Right. Your last name's Martinez.
My last name's Martinez. A lot of people look at me like, yo, you speak Spanish? Like, why would I have a last name Martinez and I'm not speak Spanish, right? So I'm Latin, man. So I grew up my dad's a musician. My uncles, all my uncles, my family's just out the ass. My brother's a bass player. My father was a bass player. My father plays about a few instruments too. And then my father's brother, it was kind of like me and my brother was like the next generation behind my brother and his brother.
Okay.
You feel me? So we kind of just followed the torch. I still was creating and producing Latin music, which is like bachata music, merengue music.
Merengue, yeah.
All that stuff. That's where honestly I make a living. I'm gonna be real with you.
Okay.
Like the rap shit is cool. It's like dinner money.
Right.
You know, but the actual real money comes from producing. For me, is Latin music. So it's
international, man. It's a way larger market for that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. So I always stay true to where I'm from, my culture. You know, I got laughed at about it. I grew up in a culture where I was a meter. If I spoke a certain language, or if I even looked a certain type of way, I kind of was just one of them. Like, to Spanish people, I was black, and to black people, I was like, oh, this nigga's mixed.
Right.
You feel me? Like, so it was kind of like, I mean, I still fit in, but it was a situation where I had to juggle. You feel me?
So was your mom black, or was your mom Hispanic too?
Nah, my mom and my dad, they both from Honduras. My dad is dark skinned, like he's really, really like pitch like black, and my mother's like J-Lo.
Fair skin. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's how I came on, pretty much.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. I thought it was like one side was Hispanic. Yeah. Other side African American.
We come from the motherland though. Honduras was colonized by Spain, but we come from St. Vincent. So that's why we speak Spanish. Otherwise, we'll still be speaking our native language.
Okay, that's fire.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that, man. History lesson.
Mm-hmm.
So talk more about that. Like, I mean, because you're getting paid off of music, like the Latin market, man. I mean, like, why don't you promote more of that out here?
Honestly, before I dropped Larry Drip, Go-Go was a record that I kind of experienced with. I put Fish on Go-Go, and it's actually me speaking in Spanish, and I produced the record. I produced Go-Go, and I was rapping in Spanish, but I did the hook in English, and then Fish did his verse in English. So I kind of do crossover, and you could tell, and like, you know, if you really listen to my music, I kind of like, you know, I add kind of like I'm Caribbean, so you can't get away from that. Even sometimes in the accent, it comes out a little bit where you know you can't hide away from it. You feel what I'm trying to say? And I wasn't a little
sazon to it and shit.
Yeah, and I was never try to hide. You know, never try to hide away from the fact that I am Latin, because it actually helps me in everything. You feel what I'm trying to say? So, people who don't even speak Spanish take Latin classes, so that must tell you something about the actual language. You feel what I'm trying to say? But we grew up in a place in ignorance that, you know, it didn't allow us to, and I say us because we all carry it, right?
Right.
It didn't allow us to actually see things beyond how we kind of like, it's like a crab in a barrel mentality. It's just
right.
I'm a fish in a shark tank.
So you do any collaborations with other like Hispanic artists out here in Boston?
Oh, a lot. I've been on tour with, like, the only person in Latin probably that I haven't been on tour with was probably Romeo Santos. But I probably hit the stage as a musician, as a keyboardist, for Latin, for merengue bands and for bachata bands. Like, I'm actually at a point in time while doing my rap shit, I was still gigging. I was still like taking a 64, 65 keyboard, putting it in my trunk and showing up to gigs and actually just getting the papers. I could read music. They'll put the papers in front of me
and you just do your thing.
And you just do your thing. Probably not even rehearse. As long as you got the papers in front of you, you could, you know, as long as you know how to read and know how to read a score, you're good. You're gonna be straight.
That's fire.
Yeah.
You see, my mom tried to get me to learn how to play the piano when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I didn't have the patience to learn, man, but I picked up the drums and I was okay with it. I did it for a few years and, you know, it was fun, but I never really stuck with it. But that's dope that you play 10 different instruments, man.
Yeah, man. And that kind of helped me to produce a lot too. Like, I don't produce a lot of my music anymore. I'm choosy with what I produce, right? But and another reason why is because I wanted to give more producers a chance, because I have a lot more musician friends than what I have like rapper friends and artists. Right. Because a lot of my friends I grew up with them in school. You know what I'm saying? Like Berkeley,
where'd you go to high school?
Boston Arts Academy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I went to Match first. 9th grade, I was at Match Charter High, and then I went to Boston Arts Academy. And
then you went to Berkeley?
And then, well, I joined like programs at Berkeley. I didn't go to Berkeley, but I was at like 5 week. I was doing programs, you know, to learn how to read music and compose. It was just, that was a jazz and classical section of me learning how to read music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to take those courses to understand, like, everything comes from jazz. Everything comes from that New Orleans feel. Like, you feel what I'm trying to say? Like,
but
that's dope that
that's dope that you took the time to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know, I got a nephew who keeps telling me, like, yeah, man, I want to be a producer. And I'm like, all right, well, can you read music? And he's like, nah. And I'm like, all right, well, you probably should learn like the fundamentals at least. You know what I'm saying? I
learned by ear though. You could still learn. You could still play an instrument and play by ear.
Oh yeah, for sure. But you know, it's you know, trying to like map it out in your mind, right? I feel like once you learn how to read music, even when you're like, you know, rehearsing it or reciting it or whatever, and you don't write it down, you at least can kind of see that in your mind. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and it does something different to the music. Like, it just kind of meshes better. You know what I'm saying? So you like Boston artists, as far as like Latin artists out here, like, you ever do like any records with Ray D?
I know Ray D. Ray D was kind of like, he was somebody that even in MySpace days.
I love folk days and shit. Yeah.
I remember those days because I was heavy on MySpace, and even with the numbers and everything, like I would run into these people. I remember going into like doing parties, DJing. Because at the time I used to DJ coming up high school and stuff, doing high school parties and stuff. I used to always run into these guys. Like I'm my class, I graduated high school in 2010, so I'm in high school from like 2006 to 2010, just so you could get the picture of the era that I'm talking about. So I used to run into these dudes a lot, you know, just doing my own thing. Jamaica Plain was heavy on that scene. Just their era, just that whole Roxbury, Jamaica Plain. There was a lot of Spanish people in that era. I used to do mad parties around that area. You feel me? So
you're bumping into Lou Armstrong and them.
Yeah. I didn't really start, like, I knew Lou Armstrong. I didn't really start bumping into him until I was hitting the downtown area. Like, I knew of him, he knew of me. But then it wasn't until, like, he's the reason why I met Cardi B, actually.
Okay, yeah, wow, early days of Cardi, huh?
Yep, he's the reason why I met Cardi and stuff like that. But even you know, during those whole times, man, those are times that I wish like we could still be living in, because you can't
redo shit.
You can't redo shit like that, dog.
The energy at that time was crazy, man. The city was kind of crazy, and I felt like everybody just kind of found their pocket and stuck to it. You know what I mean? So I mean, like, what's the what would you say is the best way to make a name for yourself in Boston as a musician?
The best way to make a name for yourself as a musician,
especially a rapper.
I could talk. For me, it's kind of like a little. I don't know as far as a musician, but as an artist, I would say it's kind of hard because the politics out here is just trash. It's just trash, bro.
But I feel like you in a good position with that.
I'm in a good position, and I'm gonna be real. I done spoke out on certain things that I probably shouldn't have spoke out, but I always speak out on situations because I feel like I got a voice. And a lot of people, a lot of artists from the city, you know, don't know any better. And it's kind of like I always tell people to educate yourself on a business. You feel what I'm trying to say? And know how to conduct it, because you could be the best artist in the world, but not know how to conduct your music. And I'm gonna be real with you. I own a recording studio. I own 2 recording studios. I see artists coming in. I see the best artists, and I see the artists that are just starting. And it varies. It varies. Even the best artists, the most talented artists that I see that know how to put together a song, verse, hook, beats. The beat selection is on point. They don't know the business. And then it be the people who do know the business that are just starting in music, but know the business that, you know, can't find a way.
Right.
You feel what I'm trying to say? So I see
there's no middle ground.
There's no middle ground.
So like, all right, so for a person, I know exactly what you mean, because I know a guy who's just getting started right now. I'm not I'm actually big on name dropping, but I'm not gonna name drop him right now because I just want to use him as an example.
Yeah.
But he's very business minded, and you know, I feel like he's letting his money talk a little too much for himself. You know what I mean? Like it's like where it's like he understands the business, because I've had conversations with him, and I'm like, all right, this dude, if he gets in the right circles in the right situation, he can make something pop. But he's not the most musical person, one, and he doesn't really know the right people. So like, say for somebody like that who understands business and really wants to make this music shit pop, and he has a good ear for music, like he knows how to place certain artists on a record, and then the shit'll be crazy when it happens.
Right.
Like, what would be your advice to somebody like that? Like, you know, how should they move?
I would say, honestly, what I think you're asking me is, okay, there's an artist that may have the business, they may have the money, but they're probably spending the money on the wrong things, basically, is what you're trying to say. Instead of spending it on the marketing aspect of their music. So I'm giving out Jews right now. My consultant fees are very, very expensive, but I'm gonna drop this Jew. What you want to do is you always want to spend your money on the marketing aspect, because let's just take, for example, the artists that are coming out nowadays. You got Lil TJ, you got Smooth L, you got Prince, J.I. All these videos that they dropping before they actually get the deal. The videos that they dropping are very, I'm in my kitchen, I'm in my living room, I'm probably in the car, whatever. 3 scenes max.
Right.
And they got millions of views on YouTube.
Right.
But what they're doing is they're saving the money on the big budget videos. Probably saving a few on the jewelry, probably get a chain or whatever. Spend whatever you're going to spend on trying to make the video look what it is. Spend it on the marketing. Because whether your video has the most expensive shit or the most poor shit in the world, it all depends on who's going to gravitate to it. You got to put it in the faces of people regardless. So you're going to shoot a video that's expensive. You're going to shoot a $20,000 video and put it on YouTube for nobody to see it.
You know what?
You feel what I'm trying to say?
Right.
So for me, I feel like I'm gonna drop this game, drop some bags on marketing your music. Like the studio shit is buy your own equipment, dog, and save your money on studio time, and send your files to an engineer that knows how to mix and master your music if you're not there at that level. But at least you can cut the cost with recording your music if you got your home studio. So for me is try to cut costs on the things that you really don't need and spend the money on the shit that you actually do need.
Okay. That's free game for y'all, man. That's free game for y'all, man. Yeah. That's CWTFB exclusive right there, man. DMoney Martinez about to send me an invoice at the end of this shit.
Yo, I'm gonna be real with you. I meet with a lot of artists, bro. And like I told you at the beginning, I work with a lot of artists that a lot of people don't necessarily know that I wrote a lot of records that are on the radio right now for artists, whether it's female artists, whether it's
big name artists or like local artists.
Listen, man, when you on a record with big name artists, regardless, you know what time it is. You know what time. Like in my resume, let's just take for example, we got names like Yo Gotti.
Okay.
We got Mano, we got Zoe Dollars, we got Fat Trail, we got Millies, I'm putting Millies in that because Millies is out. He's out of here, right? You can say that.
Absolutely.
I respect what he's doing, right? You know, I'm friends with a lot of people in my area that I don't necessarily have to put on social media and say that I'm friends with them, but we working behind the scenes. You feel
and that's dope. And that's dope.
And that when you understand business, you understand that goes a long way.
Oh yeah.
You feel me? So I'm pretty big on, like, you mentioned something on how do you tell an artist that, you know, it's kind of like they have the vision, they have what they want to do, but don't know how to attack it. I'm the type of person that would hit the DM and be like, yo, just get with me. Period. Don't even worry about the money. Don't even worry about nothing. Just give it me. I want to have a conversation with you. I think that we could take this and go from point A to point Z. You feel what I'm trying to say? So that's the type of guy I am. The money's gonna come. I always tell people the money's gonna come. There's a lot of hungry people out there, especially in this pandemic. right now. There's a lot of people out there that are struggling, that need the money up front. But I always tell a producer this is like, yo, you want to make money with me for life, or you want me to give you this little bag right now? What you want to do? Because my music, I'm getting still money from 2010 from records that I dropped from My Definition.
Wow.
You feel what I'm trying to say? So that's my first project, 2010.
It's bag talk.
And you could check it. A lot of the music that I dropped from back in the day, like it still sounds like it's still happening today. And
it's timeless.
It's timeless music. And you know, obviously we get on there and we kind of like, damn, I wish I would have
changed this, right?
But bro, you feel what I'm trying to say?
And that's just what it is, yeah.
And that's just what the fuck it is. And I'm excited. I am in a great position, like I said, but I kind of do fall into some points where I am speaking a little too much for people that don't necessarily need my attention. But at the same time, it's just like there's somebody out there that needs the help, bro. Because I was that artist. I was running around motherfuckers and trying to get a picture. I'm gonna be real. I was trying to get a picture.
Right.
I'm gonna keep it.
It is what it is, though. It is what it is, right?
I was trying to get a picture because I knew if I got the picture, I'm gonna get the math. Whether it's the manager, whether it's the cameraman,
right?
I'm gonna get
some type of connection.
That's how the industry works. So don't let somebody tell you, oh, you a groupie. You are a groupie if you want to stand in the nigga VIP and just do that all the time. But if you conducting business and somebody call you a groupie for that, they hating.
Well, there's a method to your madness. That's all it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But who would you say is your favorite person to work with out here in Boston?
Favorite person to work with?
Yeah, as far as like rappers. Matter of fact, yo, you ever run into any rap beef? Like real rap beef? Like if you saw the nigga in the street, you probably take his fucking hat off type shit?
Nah, it ain't that serious.
Nah.
Nothing's ever that serious. I'm gonna be
because
real. You
got to think about it. Because in 09, you was what, 17 type shit? Like 18, 17?
I was in 09. Yeah, 10 years ago.
So, right. So if at 17, nigga, yeah, I'd be apt to, throw some blows if I seen a nigga. Like
there was times where, when, I got into some, issues with people, but I always felt like, yo, I'm a little hothead when it's times when this stuff that just can't pass by me.
Right.
So I'm the type of person that has to get it. If I see a certain type situation, I'm not gonna leave the situation until it's clear. Period.
Okay.
That's the type of nigga that I am. Like I'm the type of person where if you got an issue with me, I'm gonna call you. We gonna meet up and then we gonna handle it like men. Period. That's me.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a situation where it's televised or whatever the situation may be.
Right.
Like we could as men, we could get up, fight, and then go and then go have a drink after.
Right.
That's the type of time that I be on. But a lot of niggas be wanting to hold grudges and
for what?
Talk about beef that we don't have. We don't got beef because I see a lot of the people that say they got beef with me, but I don't really pay attention to them.
So what? And I think niggas don't really know what beef is, right?
Yeah.
Like what's beef is probably the best fucking question.
What's
you know what I mean? Like what is beef, right? Like you know what I'm saying?
If you ain't harming my children, my mother,
right? You know what I'm saying? Like what you know what I mean? What should I really keep a grudge for? Like. Say somebody swindled you on some bread. Like, all right, get over it. You'll make that shit back. You know what I'm saying? Like, say some nigga, said some shit about you. It's like, all right, you can say what you want to say, right? You know what I mean? Like, so it's funny, man, because I remember when I was a young rapper out here, and niggas would talk crazy, and I would literally like get beside myself, man, like really trying to, harm a nigga type shit.
Right.
And then when you think about it in retrospect, you're like, damn, I was bugging out for no reason.
Right. There's only a few times where I'm kind of like, ever like, I think certain people understand you could see something from a mile away. It's just like certain people are not, you know who to play with.
Right.
That's my whole thing. You know exactly who to play with. Like, for me, I don't necessarily step into that lane, but I don't necessarily think that somebody would come and really play with me like that. because the niggas around me not me, but the niggas around me wouldn't allow it. They wouldn't allow it. That's just what it is. I wouldn't allow you to get close to me either way, but the niggas around me is just they out here hungry. So what the fuck? What you expect?
They definitely not gonna let it rock.
They're not gonna let it rock, and they don't want to see nothing happen to somebody who's actually putting on, for the city. Like that shit that happened, but it's just like it shouldn't happen. Period.
Right.
Somebody that's putting off your city. I don't want to have beef with a nigga that's in my city that probably ain't getting no more money than me. I'm not beefing with niggas that music that probably just want to say my name to get some clout. Some clout. You feel what I'm trying to say? Because I'm gonna be real with you. You do say my name, regardless of how much people hate or whatever the case may be. Because there's a lot of niggas that don't even know me that just don't like me, and that's just what it is, right? But you get those type of niggas in the world, and it's just like, okay, like I said, everybody's not gonna like what you do.
That's fair.
That don't mean that you just gonna be out here toying with niggas. Like, nah, you're not gonna do that.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So that's
but back to my original question. Who's your favorite collaborator out here?
I collaborated. Honestly, I have a record with Millie's that I collaborated with him. It's called Gone Too Often. And at the time when I wrote the record, it was literally about like just me being away from my family, like on the road a lot. My son was growing up, asking me like, when you coming back? It really doesn't hit you until you actually on the road and you have to FaceTime your kids like to sleep and tell them like, yo, you gotta go to bed, instead of actually me being there and telling him, yo,
tucking them in type shit.
Nighttime. You feel what I'm trying to say? So I dealt with a lot of that shit, even being on the road, even finishing my album last year. Like I spent probably between 2018 and 2019, I spent more time on the road than what I was in my house. You know what I'm trying to say? So for me, I look at it as like, I got a studio. I got 2 studios here in Massachusetts. I got one in Dorchester and I got one in Mattapan.
What's the name of your studios, man?
One is GTR Studios in Mattapan, and the other one is it's actually my uncle's studio, but I engineer out of there. It's called A&M Recording Studios. Okay.
Well, that's dope, man. That's dope. GTR and A&M, man. So if y'all ever need some work, man, you know who to call, man. There's a lot of I was talking to a producer recently, and he was like, because a local rapper hit me up and said, yo, listen, I need to do X, Y, and Z because my engineer is like, nah, nigga, COVID's out here, I'm straight. So I hit up this producer that I know, and he was like, yo, if it's for engineering, I'm straight. Like, nigga, that's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't make enough money off engineering.
Yeah.
Like how do you feel about like a statement like that?
Nah, I make all my money off of engineering. I don't know.
You make the bulk of your money off of that?
I don't even got to step a foot in my studio. Like most of the time, I'm working from home. I get a lot of files from sent over from artists that I'm working with in Detroit, artists that I'm working with in DC, artists that I'm working with in LA. Like my cousin, my blood cousin, Antonio Breeze, is in LA.
Okay.
He sends me all his music from LA for me to mix it. You feel what I'm trying to say? Like, a lot of people are really comfortable with their engineers, no matter where you record at. Nah, I don't want you to mix that. I just need you to record it. A lot of people hit me up. I could go anywhere in the world for me and be straight. I choose to stay in New England. You feel what I'm trying to say?
That's real.
So I could go to anywhere and be fine because I could just take my laptop with me, put my headphones on,
and just do your thing.
And do my thing and mix the record.
Right. Yeah, you know that I think what he meant from his perspective was he makes the bulk of his money off of producing or whatever it is. And maybe he just doesn't do that much engineering. I don't know. But it was just weird. It was a weird statement to me. Like when he said that, he was like, nah, I'm straight. There's not enough money in that. And I was just, I didn't even ask him what he meant by it. I was just more like, I was kind of thrown.
How is there not enough money in first of all, for you to mix and master? You're the one making the record come to life.
Right. So I was confused. I didn't really, bro, I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know if something changed since the last time I was in music. So that's why I asked you, nigga, because I was just like,
bro,
I remember how much money I used to pay engineers, my nigga.
Engineers, like, you know what I'm saying? The hourly situation is one thing, right? You got the hourly situation where, all right, your studio is X, Y, and Z an hour, right? That's just for you to record. But then you got mixing prices, you got mastering prices, you got just prices after that. So for me, I don't necessarily have to be in my studio to actually, see the income, but for me to actually record, like say for instance, I got clients that come to my studio that want to record at my studio with me. You feel me? So I have to be there present. That's pretty much why I probably haven't really made a move like that. But I got so much, things floating around in my city, just helping artists in general, that it'll be crazy for me to be looked at on how I am looked at in the city and then just be gone. Like I wanna stick around and help other motherfuckers, because I feel like it don't matter where you at. It don't matter if you in LA, Miami, New York, DC, Philly, Atlanta. You can make it pop from wherever you at, because the world is now cyber. It's now internet. It's air.
Like, you see what we doing here?
Like,
you know what I mean? Like I didn't even know about this platform until I was just like, damn, like man, I'm getting mad cancellations. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I get it. Like, it's people with kids or whatever the case may be. They're like, I don't really want to risk going out, getting sick, and then bringing that shit back home. So, and I completely understand that too. Like my shorty's pregnant. I got a 4-year-old. So, you know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to do that neither. So when I realized I could do this, I'm like, nigga, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, why not? So yeah, like there's a lot of times where you don't necessarily need even be in the same room with somebody no more. You can still collaborate with them.
Facts. Emails. What pretty much how the industry for a while has been going. Like, email me the record. But for me, I feel like I like to be in the studio with artists still. I like to get the vibe. I had a chance to do that with Gucci Mane. I had a chance to do
That's
that
fire.
with Fat Trell. I had a chance to do that with who else have I been in the studio with? Pretty much everybody, like Fish, LT. I had a chance to be, just everybody in the industry, pretty much. That's doing something in the city.
What's up with LT? Like he left the city, right?
I don't know what's up with LT. I'm gonna be real with you. That's my brother. But I honestly, I treat him for, pretty much how just beyond the music shit. That's just fam regardless.
Right.
But, he's doing his thing. He just dropped the album. He's doing his thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We haven't spoken in a while, but I know I'll probably reach out to him and see what's up sometime.
Now, because last time I heard he had a situation with Yo Gotti, right? Like CMG.
Yeah. I mean, he has a good relationship with them. I don't know exactly the ins and outs of what was going on. But there is a relationship there, and he's still, he's around. So if you go on his page and see what he's doing, I guess that's what he's doing. I don't got too much words on that.
No, I hear you, man. I hear you. But Joe, bro, I'm about to bring this in for a landing. Yo, man, I definitely appreciate the talk, man. I'm glad that we got to come to a common ground about things that was said. And I said it on purpose. I ain't gonna front. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't never have to say nobody's name for no reason. You know what I mean? And it was nothing malicious.
I know why you did it. I'm not too naive in that aspect. Like, industry, I really do.
It was no disrespect. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I always say,
I just like how Ju just kind of checked the situation. I don't really gotta say much. She got it under control.
Yeah, she deflected it. You know what I mean?
She deflected it. She know what she's doing. So I don't really gotta say nothing. Like, she will be out, like, I don't gotta say much at all. Ju is my family. Like, Ju is like, people don't understand. Like, I love that girl for real. Like, it's different. It's beyond music. You feel what I'm trying to say? I'm gonna say that on record because it is what it is.
Nah, Ju's good peoples, man. She's good shit. She's a good person, man. But anything you want to end out with, man?
Yeah, man, go download that new single, No Talk.
No Talk. Oh yeah, matter of fact, yeah. How's that going, man? Because I see you did you was doing the contest on Instagram.
Yeah, we announced the winner earlier today.
Okay, you bless somebody with a bag real quick.
I bless somebody with a bag. I feel like I just want to give back, man. I'm a good nigga at heart, bro, and I just like I feel like I've gained a lot just by being the person that I am. So why not continue to be the person that I am? You feel what I'm trying to say?
Right.
And I'm in a blessed position, so why not? Like, I could be out here like, really, really struggling, trying to make it in music. But I really live off of music. I don't sell drugs. I live off of music. Like, I take care of my kids. I take care of my, people. I got a staff. I got cameramen that's on that if I need them, they hit on point. My cameraman, my videographer, my 2 managers. You know, everybody that just I'm feeding people. You feel what I'm trying to say? And that's
you living the
fact.
dream, dog. That's dope.
And that's
you know
a
what
fact.
I mean?
I want to be able to put my people in perspective and in position to actually win. And
Right.
that's the only thing I could do. I might not be able to give a lot of money in the world, but I'm gonna make sure that at least you eating. You know, somebody else riding with me could get you that bag. You know what I'm saying? If it's not coming from me.
That's bullshit, man. Bullshit. Real shit, man. I respect it. I definitely appreciate this talk, bro. Anything you need from me, man, you let me know. You know, anytime you want to come back, CWTFB Radio, man. I mean, you know, in person. You know what I mean? Next time, you know what I mean? We can make something happen, man. I'm gonna definitely be checking for your next shit, man, for your work. Larry Drip.
That video, Larry Drip is out right now, and then we dropped something for 2020. I got a few things going on as far as like different distribution companies that want to like, you know, venture on trying to drop a project with them. But I'm kind of doing everything independent right now with my own team and putting my own bread up. I ain't got the time to be dealing with a lot of other, you know, a lot of the industry shit. If you do what I'm doing, bro, you just fuck with it, and if you don't, then you just don't. And either way, I understand there's an audience out there that I'm catering to that somebody might not even be able to see. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even tripping about anything. If you fuck with the music, you fuck with it, and I do music from the heart. So regardless, it's gonna relate to somebody.
All right, somebody's gonna like it, man. But yeah, man, you got my full support, bro. Anything you need, man, holla at me, dog.
Let's do it.
Appreciate the talk, bro.
My guy.
All right, man. CWTFB Radio, man. We out.
Tell me what the fuck do you want? What the fuck do you want? Yeah. Oh, stop trying. You know I won't pick up your call. I won't pick up your call. No. Tell these niggas stop lying on me. I can see through it all.